Hello and welcome to this webinar on the AQA Power and Conflict Anthology. We're looking at checking out history by John Agard, and we're going to have a really good overview of the poem to understand the form and structure, to understand imagery and language, and also part of the context. Now, this poem has very irregular but obvious rhyme. There are short mixed enjambments, and this sense of rhyme and enjambment really creates this sense of anger. It's an outspoken speaker who wants to talk about history of the Caribbean and why that history is not included in the British or English curriculum. The rhythm also captures very much the Caribbean accent, and it's therefore celebrating the poet's ethnicity. Italics are used within the poem, emphasizing the oral tradition. So the history that isn't written down in the English curriculum is passed on through storytelling, and therefore it's not lost. And the repetition, there's some very kind of empty repetition, and yet it contrasts with this italicized rich knowledge of the heritage that's showing that the Caribbean heritage has been denied, but it's unstoppable because the speaker wants it to be recognized. Now, we also need to understand that the whole of the main theme is about racial identity. And Agard is really looking at the history curriculum and how it's biased towards white figures. He's really challenging British history. He's really saying that he's learned about mythical nursery rhyme characters instead of really understanding these powerful Black heroes of the past. He also uses this accusatory tone, as I've said, with these short lines, and the italicized sections celebrate figures like Toussaint Louverture, Nanny de Maroon, and Mary C. Cole. He's emphasizing these are epic, out of the ordinary figures, and he uses epic, out of the ordinary vocabulary to show that these are people worth recognizing. However, despite the anger and the fury and frustration, the ending is confident and it aims to bring about a change. The poet is provoking us to check out our history, to really consider Caribbean past and Caribbean heroes that are not taught in schools. Now, nursery rhyme characters are juxtaposed and non-historical characters are juxtaposed with these powerful historical heroes. So he mentions Robin Hood, he mentions the cow who jumped over the moon, the kind of caricature versions of history that are inaccurate or incomplete. He also uses a great deal of natural imagery and natural metaphors for the three dynamic figures. Toussaint Louverture is a thorn and a beacon. So it's that sense of dynamism, aggression, and hope. And Nanny is linked to mountains and fires and rivers. She's this unstoppable natural force. Alliterative and violent verbs like bandage and blind and carving are used to show the sense of rebellion linked with the fact that these figures were rebellious figures, and light imagery is used throughout to show that they are beacons of fire and stars illuminating their identity as leaders. Now, if we think about the environment or the context, the speaker is expressing concerns about how Black women, Black men have been written out of European history. And he's really concerned also about the fact that Black history is only limited perhaps to 1 month in the year. And as an Anglo-Caribbean poet, he really looks at Western culture from a West Indian perspective. And this energetic and fun performance poetry, it's really meant to be read and not just, it's really meant to be performed and not just read. He uses non-standard phonetic spelling, he uses his accent, he uses Creole to really challenge racist attitudes and therefore to celebrate Caribbean culture. I hope that this has helped you to understand the poem a bit better. Thank you for joining me, and goodbye.